All right, so here's a big topic called percent of change. So basically, if you're given some initial amount and then a new amount, how much did it change? And it's always a percentage in reference to the original amount. So let's think of a really easy example. If we have 100, a 25% increase, this is our old number, or our original, a 25% increase would give us 125, right? That's a 25% change. A 25% decrease be 100 minus 25, and that'd be 75. All right, so that'd be a 25% decrease. So both of those are a 25% change, and you have to specify whether it's an increase or a decrease. So if we were going to do our examples here, find the percent increase. All right, so we know that's positive. And then our percent change, that's what we're looking for, over 100 is equal to the new minus the old over the old. It's always over the old because it's in reference to the original. So the original was 48 and the new was 60. So 60 minus 48 over the old one was 48. All right, now you just crunch the numbers and solve. So 60 minus 48 is 12. And you still get x over 100. And you could solve with a proportion here, but this is actually easier just to get this as a decimal. 12 over 48 is 0.25. So if we multiply both sides by 100, that gives us x equals 25, as in a 25% increase, right? Because that we just found the percent change. So for a percent decrease, the original amount was 30, and the new amount was 22. So since we ended up with a smaller amount, it's a percent decrease. So we have x over 100 equals the new minus the old, so 22 minus 30 over the old 30. So that gives us x over 100 equals negative 8 over 30. All right, and that simplifies to negative 0.266666 repeating. So simplify that a little bit. X over 100 equals negative 0.27. I'm going to round it. Multiply both sides by 100 here. And we get x equals 0.27 times 100 is 27%. And it was a 27% decrease. All right, so if you have the negative there. So here are your U-tries. We're going to do a couple more problems, but these are the U-tries. They're very similar to those. It should be easy. And then our word problems. All right, so cubed watermelon sold for $30 this year. So that's the new price. This is a 12% increase from last year's price. How much did it cost last year? So last year would have been the old price, and that's what we're looking for. So we're looking for the old here. So we know it's a 12% increase, and we know the new price is 30, and it's minus x over x, because that's what we're missing. So I simplify this. 12 divided by 100 is 0.12, right? And it's always divided by 100 as part of our formula, so it's always just going to move the decimal over 2 places. So instead of 12, it's 0.12 as a decimal. Equals 30 minus x over x. If you multiply both sides by x, it cancels these. And we have 0.12x equals 30 minus x. So I'm going to add that to both sides. So 0.12x plus 1x is 1.12x equals 30. So to solve that, you're going to divide both sides by 1.12. And you get x equals 30 divided by 1.12 is approximately 26.76. So $26.76, which makes sense. It's a 12% increase. So the old price was smaller and it increased to the higher new price. All right, so if there's been a 25% or a 17% decrease in sales over the last year. Last year's sales was 1,200. What are the sales this year? All right, so if there's a 17% decrease, we should expect a smaller number than 1,200 because it was a decrease. Since it's a decrease, we're going to have a negative percentage here. So it's a negative 0.17. Oops, my bad. We just write the number as part of this formula. Negative 117 equals the last year. This is the old. So the new, we don't know. That's what we're looking for. Minus 1,200 over 1,200. So we simplify this and get negative 0.17 equals x minus 1,200 over 1,200. We multiply both sides by 1,200 because that's the denominator here, and that cancels. And that gives us 204. So I get negative 204 equals x minus 1,200. So then I just add 1,200 to both sides to isolate x. That gives me 996 equals x. So x was $996 was the new total sales. All right, and then here's your U-try. After I show you the U-try, I'll show you another way to do these problems in a second too. So there's your U-try for those. Okay, so now let's just quickly, if you want to see, you don't have to watch this, but if you want to see another way to do these problems, another way to do it is if you know that it's been a 12% increase from your last year's. So that means whatever last year's price was, if you multiply that by 100 plus 12% is 112%, or 1.12 as a decimal, right? 112% equals 1.12. So 112% times last year's price equals this year's price. So then divide by 1.12, and you get x equals 2676 approximately. All right, it's a little easier, but you got to know how to set this up and know what's going on. So if there's been a 17% decrease and last year's sales was 1,200, take last year's sales, multiply it. Now if it's a 17% decrease, that means we're left with 83%, right? 100 minus 17 is 83. So 0.83, 83% of last year's price will give us this year's price. And then 0.83 times 1,200 is 996. All right, so you can do it either way, just as long as you show your work and you understand what you're doing. All right, so see you next class.